Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Nick Menken back here with Splash Sports. Today is August 28, 2024. A little recap on yesterday. We had our first losing day of the week. We went 1-2 in yesterday's plays. Not going to dwell on it. Going to get back on the winning side here today. So let's roll right into this, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, on this show, all we care about is the first 6 outs of the ball game. Plain and simple. A NRFI means no runs first inning, and a YRFI means yes runs first inning. But before I get into those plays, be sure to smash that like button for me and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and make sure to turn on that notification button. That way, every time I drop another video, you guys will be notified right away. All right, let's get into it. We're midway, hump day, Wednesday. Let's roll right into game number 1, and let's pick up on the winning side here. We got game number 1 starting off with the Atlanta Braves and the Minnesota Twins. For the Atlanta Braves, they have Chris Sale on the mound. He's 14-3 this season with 147 innings of work. Does have an ERA at a 2.62 with 191 strikeouts. Clearly averaging a strikeout here per inning for Chris Sale, and 43 earned runs on the season for him. He'll be matched up here in Minnesota versus David Fiesta. He's 2-3, 36 innings of work. Does have a higher end of an ERA, sitting at a 5.2 here. 44 strikeouts. He too is averaging a strikeout here per inning, and 21 earned runs for Fiesta. Fiesta picked up a loss in his last start against the St. Louis Cardinals, where he only went 3.2 innings of work, 3 hits, and 3 earned runs. Chris Sale, on the other hand, did not pick up a win or a loss in his last start, and it was against the Washington Nationals, where he went 7 innings of work, 9 hits, and 3 earned runs in that one. As of late, Chris Sale has been getting off to shaky starts in ball games. I'm expecting him, especially against a Minnesota ball club who is not scoring right out of the gates, and it is a pitcher's ballpark here at Target Field. I'm expecting Chris Sale to come out strong here in this start for the Atlanta Braves. And then David Fiesta, I think this Atlanta Braves team is going to be a little hungover, so to speak, after that explosive 10th inning yesterday to get the Braves the win, scoring 4 runs. I just think their bats are going to be a little sluggish, and I think Chris Sale has an opportunity to have a strong start in this ball game against the Minnesota Twins. That's why in game number 1 between the Atlanta Braves and the Minnesota Twins, we're smacking the NRFI. No runs first inning. Let's roll into game number 2 between the Chicago Cubs taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates here. Going right back to Pittsburgh. We lost yesterday on that NRFI. It hit a YRFI. Justin Steele just did not look good whatsoever to start that game. But we move on to today, Chicago Cubs and the Pirates here. Kyle Hendricks will be on the mound for the Chicago Cubs. 3-10, 101 innings of work. Does have an ERA high, sitting at a 6.33 here. 67 strikeouts and 71 earned runs for Hendricks on the season. He'll be matched up here versus their guy in Pittsburgh, Paul Skeens. 8-2 on the season, 104 innings of work. Does have a low end of an ERA, sitting at a 2.16, 130 strikeouts, as he too is averaging a strikeout here per inning, and 25 earned runs on the season for Skeens. Skeens picked up a win in his last outing against the Cincinnati Reds, where he went 6 innings of work, 2 hits, and no earned runs. Kyle Hendricks, on the other hand, did not pick up a win or a loss in his last 3 starts. The last start being against the Miami Marlins, where he went 4.2 innings of work, 7 hits, and 3 earned runs. Hendricks has been solid, though, with his NRFI record this season. Even though his win-loss record on the season does not show for it, 3-10 here, he still gets off to really good starts. I like Kyle Hendricks in this position, especially the way that the Pittsburgh Pirates came out yesterday. I think, though, their bats are going to be a little more slow here, so to speak, today with Kyle Hendricks, that he's not overpowering whatsoever. He's going to spot you up. I think the Pittsburgh Pirates have a little rough time in the bottom of the first, and then Paul Skeens to do what Paul Skeens has been doing here all season long. That's why in game number 2 between the Chicago Cubs and the Pittsburgh Pirates, we're smacking the NRFI. No runs first inning. Throw into a third and final game between the New York Yankees taking on the Washington Nationals. For the New York Yankees, they got Carlos Rodon on the mound. He's 14-8, 140 innings of work. Does have an ERA sitting at a 4.16 here, 153 strikeouts. He's averaging a strikeout here per inning and 65 earned runs for Rodon on the season. He'll be matched up here in Washington, D.C. versus Mackenzie Gore. 7-11 on the season, 131 innings of work. Does have a high end of an ERA as well, sitting at a 4.51. 140 strikeouts. He too is averaging a strikeout here per inning and 66 earned runs for Gore. Gore did not pick up a win or a loss in his last performance against the Atlanta Braves. We went 6 innings of work, 7 hits, and 1 earned run. Rodon, he picked up his 14th win of the season in his last start against the Colorado Rockies at home, where he went 6 innings of work, 4 hits, and no earned run. Carlos Rodon pitches a lot better at home. He's pitching here in Washington, D.C. The Yankees did not score until the top of the 8th inning in yesterday's ball game, while the Washington Nationals jumped all over Garrett Cole and the Yankees, scoring 4-0 before the Yankees scored in that top of the 8th inning. I just think this is a bounce-back game in general for the New York Yankees. I think they will get to Gore, as Gore does like to give up runs early on in the ball game. And on the flip side of this Washington Nationals team plays the Yankees very tough, and they got Carlos Rodon on the road. Definitely could scratch one as well. That's why in game number 3 between the New York Yankees and the Washington Nationals, we're smacking the YRFI yes runs first inning. Let's take a recap of the games I've selected for you today. Game number 1 between the Atlanta Braves and the Minnesota Twins. We're smacking the NRFI. Game number 2 between the Chicago Cubs and the Pittsburgh Pirates. We're also smacking the NRFI. No runs first inning. And a third and final game between the New York Yankees and the Washington Nationals. We are smacking the YRFI. Yes runs first inning. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Nick Menken with Splash Sports. If you have not done so, smack that like button for me. Helps me out a ton. Costs you guys none. Make sure to go follow me over on X. We got NFL football a week out here. We are getting close. We'll have a video series on that. A lot of college football here, so make sure to go check X over there at Nick Menken for all my plays this weekend. Best of luck and best bets.